Alright guys, Money here. Hopefully you guys are doing well, and just going to explain what we're going to be doing with our plantation and what's our plans, what's our future look like with our plantations. And this could change in the future depending, because we're still learning on how to plant, what to plant, when to plant. And what I figured out so far, and I had to take a while. We've been here, what, 8 months, 9 months or whatever. Taking me to think a little bit about certain things. Sometimes you just bluff things and everything turn out really well, and sometimes just doesn't work out at all. So, with our plantation, we've got, first of all, we've got vegetables that we need to plant. Sweet potato that we've got in the ground, and I've already started eating off of that. Not ready to pull out, but I've got sweet potatoes around about that big, a handful that are about that big, so they're okay to start taking out, because I've run out of food to eat. So that's what I'm starting to dig up now, and I've only like the bare minimum. So started to pull some of the sweet potato out, and it's called setaita. That sweet potato can grow all year round, and there's other varieties like the Hawaii that doesn't grow all year round. But yeah, so we've got sweet potato, we've got plantain, and what we call it over here is hopper, and that's the big thick banana, really thick banana. I love that. I could eat that all year round, and it's good for your health as well. It's not heavy, starchy kind of. It's good for the diabetic as well, because it's not full of sugars. It's a lot better for your health. So and sweet potato is really good for you too, even though it's got a bit of sugar in it. But that's really good for your health as well. And we're gonna be planting watermelons. I've already planted, already harvested, sold some. So next summer I'll be planting some more. And also potatoes. That's our next venture into potatoes this winter. So hopefully I'll get back from New Zealand in 2 weeks time, grab some seeds from Tonga and bring it with us over here, so we can plant some normal potatoes. Over here it's quite expensive, just for a kilo. So I won't be doing that. I'll just be putting in plastic bags and selling them as they do their Tongan crops over here. If it goes well. I don't know if it'll go well or not. We will see. It's just something to venture into. Because it gets cold here in winter, it'll be a good crop for us to be able to plant here and to be able to produce. So, with that saying, I've had actually the pastor said he did some up in Whangafonua. It's a little bit higher climate, so it's a little bit colder up there. And he did really, really well with that. So we know that potatoes do really well here. So that's my next venture in it. And all of this that I'm doing here is pretty much half-acre, quarter-acre blocks of what I'm doing. Nothing massive. Just a small amount here and there. It's because I need to figure out what does really well and when. I don't want to spend all this money on plowing and all this kind of stuff, and then it doesn't do well, and then I've just lost a bunch of money that I don't have. So I'm just going to do small amounts, get it in, get it out, get that profit to be able to reproduce, or be able to use a plow to replow something else and plant something else, that kind of stuff, or buy seeds for watermelons or so forth. And just a little bit about each one. Vegetables, winter vegetables. So the vegetables over here, like cabbages, lettuces, and all that kind of stuff, don't do that well in summer. Yes, they see all year round, but what I've seen with bugs, no, only in winter. Plant them in winter. They do really well there. Tomatoes do really well, pretty much all year round. Tomatoes can be, but closer to the end of winter, and to the end of winter, coming summer, like over here, you need sort of like a greenhouse or something like that. But I mean, you can still keep planting tomatoes all year round, and as long as you get a feed off of it, probably sell a little bit. But if you really want to do it well, winter. And our sweet potato, like I said, all year round for the Sedata, Hawaii. From May onwards, you can plant it like I planted my other Hawaii that I've got there. I planted it in December, January, February, December, January, February, March. March now, 3 months. March, April, May. So May it should be ready. Um, that's about 5 months, 4 to 5 months. But the other sweet potato is only like 3 to 4 months. So, but I like the Hawaii. That's a purple, really dark purple sweet potato. I really enjoy that eating it. That's why I planted some of it. Because we couldn't find any Hawaii anywhere over here, and I love it. So does my wife. So only one way to be able to get some for ourselves is to plant it. And there was hardly any cuttings at that time. I couldn't find any cuttings, so we just got the bare minimum cuttings that we found around and planted it. So yeah, planted some Hawaii. So it'll be 5 months ready in May. The Sedata that I planted in November, that's already ready. Pretty much this month, next month. So hopefully November, December, January, February, March. Yeah, it's ready. March. So I'll be taking, when I get back from Australia, be pulling that out. I've already gonna start. I've already plowed a piece of land. I need to replow it and mound it. So I've already paid for the plow and the mounding. So once I get back from Australia, I'll be chucking sweet potato in there. I wanted to do it before I leave, but the weather doesn't let me do it. So, and the plower hasn't able to come out because of the weather. It's always raining. So we're just waiting for it to dry up just a little bit before we can start plowing out there. One thing I did forget to mention, I've got pineapples in, around about 200 pineapples in the front. Someone's offered me some more cuttings to be able to, or some more, what do you call it, growths on the side, to be able to plant some. So I'm going to grab some off of him. His name's Samuel, and he's offered me some cuttings. So I'm going to plant some more pineapples. That's also another thing to venture into. Eating, give away, and also sell. Most of our stuff, a lot of it's given away, like the family and friends. We sell their bare minimum as we're starting off, a very small. The sweet potato, though, we won't be able to eat all of that. So we'll definitely have to pull it out and sell it. Give away what we give away and sell the rest. So that's on sweet potato with the seasons. Plantain, that's all year round. Plant anytime, and it'll keep producing your hopper or plantain, those big thick bananas, big fat ones. So that's all year round, and I like that. And because once one comes out with the fruit, you chop that fruit off, that plant will die, and all the other shoots will come up shooting up, and you can take those off, replant those. And that's what I will be doing with the hopper that I've got here. I've already started with some of the hopper that Mum planted. I've already cut some of those up and replanted those sprouts. So that's what we're doing there. Just keep on, and we're going to plant it in between. I've already started in between my vanilla, just to shade the vanilla, also to help shade the vanilla and create water in the soil. It's a good water gathering area. With also, the other one is watermelons. In summer, that's when we plant watermelons. Comes to a certain time of the season where the bugs start to, like caterpillars and all this kind of stuff, start coming out, and they start eating the watermelons, and diseases come into the watermelons very easily. So there's September is probably the best time over here to plant watermelons. September to October, November, December, taking them out of the ground, or not out of the ground, picking them and selling them, eating, whatever. So that's the plan for this year. I've already got watermelon seeds ready. Hopefully I'll have a piece of land ready by then. And and I've got some sprays and whatnot. I haven't used them. I'm not going to use any fungicide spray until I see any fungicide on the on. As soon as I see it, then I'll start spraying. But for now, organic. Everything's just going to be organic. I know it doesn't do well with organic, but I just did my last slot of watermelon. It's done really well, except when the cows came and stood all over them and whatnot. But anyway, that's another story to tell. And also potatoes. That's a winter product as well. So potatoes plant in May. So once I come back from Australia, I'll be planting the potatoes to. That's a new venture for us to go into. The next one is vanilla. So vanilla, that's going to be a commercial crop. It's only started, so I've only got about just over 100 vanilla in of my own vanilla. And pretty much 98% of that is growing and is growing well. As everything's starting to shoot up, go through the figgies. And with that I'm very happy with. So I'll extend that, keep planting more figgies and keep planting more vanilla, and I'll just keep extending that to that. Maybe I can get 500 vanilla in, and that'll be perfect. Once that does really, really well, I can extend from there. And it's a good crop because you don't have to find a market for. Once you just pick it off, you go into Hila Vanilla or whoever is buying the vanilla at the time on the island and just take it to them. This year it'll be $120 per kilo, and that's green beans. So it's about that much a bunch of green beans. Put on a scale, 1 kilo, you get $120, and it's just as simple as that. So if you have 100 kilos, you get what is it? If you get 10 kilos, 100 is $1,200. So, and if you get 100 kilos, that's 10,000, 12 grand. So yeah. So if I can, what I've seen, the best vanilla on the island is producing around about 5 to 7 kilos per plant, and that's 7 years old. He hasn't had very good yields out of it before that, but this year he's done really, really well. So what I'm seeing there, he's got 1,000 plants. 500 is probably the best of those, is around about 500 plants. And what I've calculated, that's $300,000, and that's 500 plants with around about 5 kilos. So $300,000 just in that, and that's every year. But it takes 3 years for it to before it can produce. So it takes a while for it to produce, and you just got to stick it out for those 3 years and make sure you look after it. The Tongans here, they sort of plant it and then they get sick of it and then they just let it go and it doesn't produce that well, and some of them even just cut it all down and restart doing something else. So with me, I'm just going to stick at it, do it well, make sure I do the best that I know and that I can to produce this. I've got my sisters. Two of my sisters and their husbands have got about an acre of vanilla here. I've only planted on there 4 rows. 4 rows. That's over 100 vanilla as well. So, and they're starting to shoot up, so that's good. We tried potting them, and there was all sorts of drama. It wasn't fenced. So cows came up and drank the water out of the pots and tipped them over. Cows tipping them over. What else was there? And they just didn't grow that well in the pot. They'd sprout up, but because they weren't getting the full nourishment of soil that they needed, they weren't just doing too great. So what I'm doing now is planting the traditional way here that I've learned from the locals, the old fellas that are here, is plant your fiki, get that growing, cut it off to a short, around about knee height. Once it sprouts out to leaves, that shades your vanilla. Plant the vanilla in then, or you can plant them at the same time, doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but if you're urgent, and you can actually shade it with a coconut leaf over the top, tie it to the figgy, shade it with a coconut leaf, so the vanilla will have shade until the figgy starts growing out, and then shade that vanilla. So that's what I've done with all of my vanilla now. We started off beforehand with bulu, meaning coconut husk, and then the drought came. Drought came, dried everything up the bulu and everything. Didn't have enough irrigation at the time to be able to. I watered it, but the sun's so powerful here, it cracked the ground and everything. It just wasn't great. So now we're getting abundance of water. The vanilla is doing very, very well, and hopefully it stays like that, and we don't get another drought. But at least they once they start growing well, they get a lot of shade, they'll be fine. At least 50% shade to 70% shade, they'll be fine, and they'll do well. So yeah, that's the plan there. So if I get 500 vanilla, and it won't be the third year, fourth year, maybe the fifth year. You're looking in over $100,000 per year. So hopefully that does well. And if you do it really, really well, around about 1,000 vanilla, of course you're going to get half a mil to $1 million per year. But that's if you look after it well, treat it right. No cyclones coming through. We're very lucky this year so far. This is a cyclone period this month and last month. So far so good, and hopefully pray to God that no cyclones come through this year. And then we need to be prepared for cyclones in the future. All right, so that's what's happened there with our plantations. I can't wait for the pineapples to produce as well next year. So pineapples are yearly, and we've got 200 in, so 200 pineapples should be coming next year. So we planted them this year, next year, pineapples. All right, so hopefully I'll put some more pineapples in, and we'll go from there. And then as time goes by, so this is just a start, right? As time goes by, I'll take the new shoots that are coming out. There'll probably be around about 4 shoots off of one pineapple, and I'll start replanting only maybe 2 off of a plant and replanting. And I mean, if I've got 200 now, take 2 off of each plant, there's 400, right? There's 400 plants. So it grows yearly, every year, more and more pineapples if I've got the space for it. Pineapples sell well here. It's like any other market over here. Overabundance of stuff gets a lot cheaper. When there's not much, gets more expensive. Like you can get up to $30 a watermelon here for one watermelon, and you think it's in the Pacific, and you've got abundance of produce, and it'll be cheaper. No, it's quite expensive here. So on Ewa, not many watermelon growers are here. The prison does it. Say no. They didn't have much this year, and then a few other people had a few watermelons here and there, but not much. So as soon as I put my watermelons out on the store, they went gone, and I put them a little bit cheaper because it's too expensive. Like $20 to $30 a watermelon. I don't agree with that. And I love the people. You know what? Bring it down for those people that can't afford it. So, but I had smaller watermelons as well, so it went down to $5 a watermelon. 5, 8, 10 to $15. My maximum was $15 a watermelon. So I did well on that. And yeah, it was. I can see the potential of watermelons. So we'll see. So watermelons, you got all the other crops that I could sell during the year. Hopefully we could do veggies this year quite well once we come back from New Zealand and start planting some veggies. It's a lot to maintain. It's not easy. It's because you're weeding all the time, weeding and cutting grass all the time here. You have 4 acres to look after, and I wish I had animals to be able to help me to be able to maintain. You know what I mean? The property. What I am looking at in the future is trying to fence all the vanilla properly and put a couple of sheep in. Not many, just a few sheep in there to be able to eat down that grass, to keep the grass maintained. And that'll help with that. But I'm not too sure if that'll work or not. I'm just going to try it in the future, see how it goes. If they start destroying the vanilla and I see that nothing going quite right, out they come. Dinner. Maybe. Yeah, so that's our plan for there with our plantation. So I've done a video on our animals. Now it's our plantations. If I've missed anything out that you have seen on my videos, let me know. I've got some herbs also in the ground with a veggie garden. So that's Mum's basil bits and pieces. Nora put that's that pepper. What do you call it? Cayenne pepper. She put some of that in. It's I put some in my cooking, and all you need is one. That's pretty spicy, but yeah. We got bele also. It's a leaf that you can chop up, fry, put in coconut cream, put on top of the haka. Meaning haka is put on top of your sweet potato and maybe some coconut cream, and it's just really nice to eat. I planted some taro as well. Not much, just a little bit. But that's probably going to be one of our ventures as well in the future. Planting taro. Just to have our own taro leaves, basically, for our loos. If no one knows what loo is, it's a Tongan traditional that you put in the omo meal that you put in the omo, taro leaves, coconut cream, and maybe some lamb flaps in that. Tie it all together, put it in the omo, a hangi, or a ground cooking space that you bury with hot rocks. So that's probably some more ventures, and also we're going to probably transplant some mango trees. So we got some mango trees from overseas that Mum planted. They're around about 4 or 5 years old now, and they seeded this year. They produced a little bit of but they didn't fully form. So hopefully by the end of this year they'll have some mangoes on it this year. But what I will do with a couple of the branches, I'm not too sure if you've seen this happen, but grab a plastic bag, some dust from the pulu or from the coconut husk and dirt, and wrap it around a branch, tie it on each side, let it sit there, and it'll grow roots, and then I can cut off that branch and replant it. What will happen then is that will fruit a lot faster than the ones I've planted as seeds. Like I've planted there's around about 10 mangoes on the property that we've planted, and out in the front we've also planted lemon trees, orange trees, you name it. We've planted quite a few trees. So I accidentally mowed over an avocado tree that Mum planted, and Nora cleaned it all up, made sure it was, and she didn't cut through it when the tall grass was there. I accidentally go straight over with a mower, and that was just recently, and I'm like, oh no, that took a long time to grow. So I've got to be more careful with a mower or with a snipper or something like that. Also, I'm colorblind, so everything just blends in, this greenery, and it's hard for me to see what's what and what's different. The only thing I'll see is the shape of the leaf is different, and that's where that alerts me. But yeah, that's one of my other impairments is color blindness. Not fully, I can still see the blue, the white. Well, white's not a color. Blue, but the blues and the purples, the blues and the blues and the purples blend in together with me. The maroons, reds, and all that kind of blend in. Greens, all that kind of stuff, they blend in. And sometimes I can't see anything. But the one thing that's funny is, like, if I see I can see movement. Like if animals in the bush or like camouflage or anything, as soon as they start moving, I can see it. And that I can see. But if they don't move, I won't be able to see it. But anyway, that's one of my other ventures is pig hunting. In the future, to have game meat and utilize my dogs to train them as pig hunting. That's just going to be a bit of a hobby of mine in the future. But yeah, because we have wild pigs here, abundance of them over here in Ewa. So hopefully I can get licensed for a gun in the future as well. If I have the dogs and just a knife, that's fine. I can pig hunt with that. But it'll be nice to have a gun to be able to pig hunt with the dogs and a gun. And also shoot any cows that have come on the property. So I've electrified the fence on the front so they can't come through the front. They can still come through the back though. But not many come at all through the back. I've already spoken to the people that have cows up there at the back. And they haven't come since. So that's good. But yeah, over here, if a cow sits on your land and starts grazing on your plantations, you can shoot them. Go tell the person that they're cows, and if you can't find them within 1 hour, you can slaughter it and put it in your freezer. That's what it is over here. That's the law over here, and I agree with that law because they can do a lot of damage in a short period of time when they graze on your vegetation and trample on your vegetation. Sometimes a group of 6 to 10 cows can just come through in the night and just mow it all down, and you have no idea and wake up and go, oh my gosh, what happened? So I think this video is a little bit too long, but that's what we're doing here. Alright guys, make sure you subscribe and like if you like this video, and if you don't like, just thumbs down. I don't care. But yeah, give me your comments and ideas. Give me some ideas on what you think. What could be profitable over here? What could I do better? Yeah, anything like that. More is better, because knowledge and wisdom is the main factor for us to grow, right? And the more wisdom, more knowledge, the better we get. But trying to put that in practical sense, to be able to put your hands on it and do it, different story, eh? But yeah, once you get the knowledge and the wisdom, apply it and then refine it and get it sorted. But anyway, God bless everyone. Bye for now.